Hello everyone. Our next topic in Model 2 is about variables. In the last video, we have started data types in Java. What is the importance of data types? What are the different types of data types available in Java? The next continuing topic is variable. So, since variables part is very important in any kind of Java programming language, what are the variables features available in Java? How variables typecasting are allowed in Java is our today's this video topic. Let us go to the topic. Variable. Variable is a basic unit of storage in Java program. Yeah, we know that. So a variable is defined by the combination of identifier, a type, and optional initializer. So variable is the basic unit of storage and it is a combination of identifier, a type, and an optional initializer. How we can declare one variable? There is a one general syntax is used in Java programming. How we can declare it is not that much different with other programming. Normally, how we will define one variables in other languages like C and C++, the same kind of general syntax only it's followed it. Java also it starts with the key type data type of that variable and the variable name and its value, right? Very simple common type is like it starts with the data type, then variable name and its value. And the identifier is the name of the value variable. Don't confuse, the identifier is a new term. You don't confuse, the identifier is nothing but it is the name of the variable. If you want to initialize, you can give any values to the variable or else we can leave with type and identifier itself, right? So the first thing is type. What kind of type? Whether it is integer, floating point, character or boolean. So that data type is the first part. Then the variable name is the second part. Right, we can see some of the several examples of variable declaration. Here the first one is integer. Integer a comma b comma c. It declares three integers, right? Another one type is integer d equal to 3. Here this is called as value of d is assigned as 3. It is called as initialized. And E is not initialized, it is just declared. And similarly, F is also initialized with the values. So you must know the differences between the declaration and initialization. Declaration is nothing but without the value you are declaring some variables. But with some initial values, if you have declared, if you have mentioned the variables means that is called as initialization. And next type is byte. It is byte z is equal to 22 is my another type of variable declaration of type byte. Then double pi is equal to 3.1414159 is another one double type of variable declaration. And then character x equal to x is also another one. So apart from these kind of declarations and initialization, there is another one type called as dynamic initialization. What is meant by dynamic initialization, ma'am? So when the program is executing, at the time of execution time, some variables are declared and assigned means that kind of initialization is called as dynamic initialization. I will come up with one example here. This example Java program shows the dynamic initialization. It starts with class name dynamic initialization and double that is public static void main and double a equal to 3.0 and b equal to 4.0 is my value. This is not dynamic initialization, it is declared at compile time itself, at the coding itself. Then what happens here, double c is equal to math.sqrt of a square plus b square. So this is what here we are initializing the values of c at the runtime. So this concept is called as dynamic initialization. We will have this one with with example program. Now I will just copy and execute how this program executes. Now I'm going to execute this program. I should save this file with the name of dyn, dy, n, and init. That means dynamic initialization is the short form. So I'm saving this file as dynamic init.java, right? I'm saving this file in D location in the folder of Java. Okay, fine. Now I have saved. Now next thing is I want to compile this program. I'm going in the location of my d:/cd java. Okay, next is using the javac command. I should compile the Java file as dynamic init.java. Fine, there is no errors. Next part is I should after the successful compilation, what will happen? One class file will be generated. No, so after this I should execute that class file with its bytecode. This is the command for executing the Java program. I'm using this one. Now hypotenuse values is equal to 5.0. So this is my output of this program, right? What is the 3.3 and 4? That means hypotenuse value is math.square root of. We will see what will happen. 3 a square means 9 and b square means 4. So 9 plus 4 is equal to 16. So 16 plus 9 is equal to 25. When you add, when you make the square root of 25, you will get 5 as the value. So that is what it is displayed here, right? I hope so you are clear with this concepts. So this is one way of dynamically initializing the variables. The next concept is scope and lifetime of your variable. We know that now we are clear about how to declare and initialize the variable. So what happens, what will be the scope of that variable means, normally in many of the programming languages will have one type of categories like global variable and local variable, right? So global variable and local variable are the major scope of the variables in many of the computer languages. Here in Java, it has the major two scopes as scope defined by the class and scope defined by the methods, right? So scope defined by the class and scope defined by the methods are the two different types of scope. What happens in the scope defined in the class means it has several unique properties and attributes that do not apply the scope defined by the methods, right? So this if you declare one variable inside the class, it has several unique properties and attributes, but that properties and attributes will not be applied in the method. But in scope defined by method will begin its opening curly braces. So when you are starting the method, at that time only the scope will be open. We will see with one example here. One example program is written with the name of scope and public static void main int x is my variable declared and initialized inside the class, right? Here x is the variable declared inside the class. X equal to 10 is assigned, and if x equal to double equal to 10 means, then what we are doing, into y equal to 20, right? Here what I am using into y equal to 20 is no. So this is not global variable. That means it is not a variable declared by class. So it is a variable declared by the method or loop, if loop. Inside the if loop only the y value will be speak. So what happens, the y variable scope and lifetime will be started when you are opening the curly braces. So at the end of this curly braces, the y value scope will not be persist, right? Will not be known to, outside of the scope. So this is the differences between x variable and y variable. X is the variable declared and defined by the class. So it has its unique properties and attributes. It will be known and it will be persist till the class ends. But here y is the variable. It is treated as temporary variable. The scope of this variable will be retained till the method that is if loop is existing. Another important points to remember here